Hello there, welcome back to my channel. It is Sunday, May 18th. Bet you weren't expecting that, but I'm headed to school to take in some items for my team teacher's baby shower, which we are doing after school tomorrow. And I've kind of been leading the charge because I love a good party planning. So I figured I could bring you along with me, kind of show you what all I have planned. This is my first ever baby shower, so I have no idea what I'm doing, but regardless, I'm just gonna share it with you, and then this vlog will actually continue into tomorrow, Monday. But for now, let's talk about the baby shower. Now, once I get to school, I'm gonna go through all of the stuff that I've been slowly bringing in and stashing away. Today, I am bringing in basically the cold items and some of the food items. So I prepped these bee stingers, as we are calling them.
I say we fill Michael's office with bees. My apiarist does me a favor.
They're basically skewers with pineapple and black grapes, so they kind of give off bee vibes. But I cut and prepped all of the fruit, got those skewered. I had to tape close the container because the lid would not stay on. I'm gonna put that in the refrigerator in the staff lounge along with the drinks. So I have 3 of these bigger things of lemonade and then 1 that is tea in case anyone wants to make an Arnold Palmer. But I figured if I bring these in today, it's less that I have to carry in tomorrow. So let me drive to school and then I'll show you the rest of it. I'm obviously at school now. I dropped off the lemonades, the tea, the bee stingers in the fridge. I actually just recorded a whole separate vlog on my best purchases of the year as well as my worst purchases of the year, so be on the lookout. That video will be up next. But then I realized I never even explained, I said bee stingers and the little fruit kebabs, but I did not explain the theme. So the baby shower theme is Honey Bundle of Oats. Now that's a play off of Honey Bunches of Oats, like the cereal, but it's also punny because of my team teacher's name. Now, the overall theme is like honey bee themed, and so you're gonna see a lot of black, a lot of yellow, different puns that have to do with like bees and honey and sweet and whatnot. But let me show you all of the things that I've had kind of stashed away here at school. First, one of my team teachers is super artsy and creative and creates beautiful things. So she hand painted a banner. I wanna say it's probably about 6 feet by 3 feet. It is on theme, so you see like the little honeycombs and little honey pot. And it says something along the lines of like buzzing with joy for the new little one or something like that. But this will get hung up for decoration. Also for decoration, if you want to call it that, I have these little hexagons that are basically just craft sticks that I hot glued together. So it's probably cheesy, but my thought was this could go in the center of each table, and then I also have other like table toppers. But I prepped, I don't know, I think there's like 10 or 11 of these for extra decor. Let's go ahead and go through some of the food because I have these little table tent type things to label the food. So for example, the bee stingers that I already mentioned, which have pineapple and grapes. And then you'll notice some of the other ones, I have different like allergen notices, which I have a sign that kind of goes through the allergens. Let me see if I can find that. Yes, okay. So this sign I made on Canva, and then it's just in a clear frame that I got from the dollar store, but this goes through the different allergens. And so based on the little tent, it will have an image if there are any allergens. So like if it has dairy or egg or peanuts and so on and so forth, so people will know like allergy wise. But let's go through the food items because they're back here, or at least most of them. In addition to the lemonade, the tea, the bee stingers, one of the teachers in another grade level is actually making cupcakes and macarons, and they're gonna be like honey, honey vanilla, and I'm really excited. Sorry, I got distracted as I started thinking about cupcakes, but she is going to be providing those for us, which was a huge help. And then from there, I was like, you know what? I want some kind of like a snack mix. So the idea was a make your own honeycomb snack mix. So once again, I made this on Canva and I just listed out the different items that are in it. But there are these honey flavored cheese puffs that came from H-E-B. So I got 2 bags of those. I also got 2 bags of HE Buddies, which are like little honey grams. They're basically Teddy Grams. They're just the HEB version. I also got a box of honey bunches of oats, the honey roasted, because that's the theme. You gotta have honey bunches of oats. And then a big thing of honey roasted peanuts. There is also another box of cereal in here. Yeah, let me see if I can get to it. Yeah, so also a big box of honeycomb because it fits the theme. I literally just walked around the grocery store and found a bunch of honey flavored things. So that will be the make your own snack mix. And then I have the little allergen guide to go with it. And with the name tents, I have them for all the different items. So I have like the honeycomb cereal, honey bunches of oats, bee stingers, let's see. Oh, and then I have ones for like the cupcakes, and it's just kind of a basic description of what will be in those. Okay, let's take a break from food, although there is one other thing that's somewhere in that bag. For my team teachers kind of like guest book, we got a Winnie the Pooh book. It's like a nice hardcover with all the like Winnie the Pooh stories. I'm pretty sure I had basically the same book when I was a kid. It's adorable. And then I made a sign that says like guest book, write something sweet to the new bundle. We are so glad you came, pick a page to sign your name. And once again, I made this in Canva, and then this is just a frame from the dollar store. And I have this little like easel type of thing that it will sit on by the book. So that will be set up at a separate table as people come in, they can sign that. I also made a little sash for my team teacher to wear. I saw a lot of sashes online that said something along the lines of like mother to be, and it would be BEE. The issue is my team teacher is already a mom. This is her 3rd kid. So I just got a plain yellow sash and then I decorated it myself. I just used my Cricut to cut out vinyl, and so I put on there soon to be, and I used the pun, a hive of 5, since they will then be a family of 5. Now, it's probably backwards. Like, I'm pretty sure when she puts it on, it's gonna be written the wrong way, but for the life of me, this is end of the year teacher tired, I could not figure out the right way to put it on there, and I eventually just said, Michelle, it's fine, good enough. These little bees are adorable, first of all. They're just little printed bees, and these came from Amazon. Some of them have like a little honey pot. These are gonna get taped up as soon as I'm done recording this around the school. So there's like 108 of them. I'm gonna tape these up around the school, and then I have an email going out tomorrow. I'll insert the image that I made to go with it with the rules, but essentially, staff members will be able to collect the bees all day, so they'll pick up the bees that they find around the school, and whoever has the most at the start of the baby shower will end up getting a prize. So for the prize, over the weekend, I actually went to a local honey distributor, and this was almost like not a field trip, but basically we sent out to families like, hey, they're offering free tours to our students. If you wanna come on Saturday, you can come get a free tour, like, hey, I'll be there. And so I did that yesterday. It was phenomenal, and it was so fun, like seeing some of my students outside of school. And I grabbed a thing of honey to give away for the prize. So I actually have, it's in my backpack, but a little gift baggie that I'm gonna put it in. And then there also are some Burt's Bees somewhere in here, like little chapsticks that I will put in, and that will be the prize for whoever finds the most bees that were hidden around the school. Okay, then we have some various serving items. So these are all from the dollar store. I have a receipt, hold on. 3 big bowls. My thought is 1 for like the honeycomb cereal, 1 for the cheese puffs, and 1 for the honey bunches of oat cereal. Then I have 2 smaller kind of scallop containers. 1 will be for the like honey grams, and then the other one will be for the honey roasted peanuts. And then I have some little, oh, there are the chapsticks. So these will go with the honey as the prize for the bee hunt, because that's the name of it. I have some clear plastic scoops for each of the different like food items. And then we have plates. So I just got the plain black plates from the dollar store. These are like the dessert size, they're 7 inches. I originally ordered yellow ones from Walmart, but then the order got canceled because I think they were all out. So I just went with black ones. And I think it will work out well because the tablecloths are yellow, and these were from Amazon. I think this was like a 3-pack. So this will go on like the food table where the guest book is, and then maybe like the gift table. But these are adorable. They have like the little honeycombs on them and little bees, so it matches the theme. I also got a bunch of just yellow tablecloths, and they're very yellow, like neon yellow, but these will be for the tables where people are seated. And on top of this will be the little hexagon and then some table toppers. Let me see if I can find those. Yes, so these are table toppers. They're like the little things that you open up and like attach, and they're like 3D. So these will go inside of the hexagon on top of the yellow tablecloth at the tables where people will be seated. Also, I mentioned, let's go back to food for a second. I mentioned that one of the other staff members is making cupcakes. So I got these little cupcake toppers. They're little like honeycomb and beehives and bees, and they're adorable. So these will get stuck in the cupcakes. I also got these honey straws, and my thought was if people wanted to, they could add them into their lemonade, but they're also just really cute, and I couldn't resist. So I brought from home a jar, like a mason jar, that these will sit in on the table. And then I have the little label for honey sticks. Okay, let's shift back to decor. Well, no, I guess this is food related. These are little baggies for the snack mix. So the thought is everyone gets a baggie, fills it with their snack mix, and it kind of coordinates with the other tablecloths and things. Okay, we also have black napkins, nothing too exciting, but necessary. One of my team teachers has cups. They're just like clear plastic cups, I think with like a gold rim. So that will be for the lemonade. And then we have other prizes. So we're gonna do another game. It's gonna be a left-right game, which I shared about a left-right game when I mentioned going to speak to the recent graduates at Austin Community College. I played a left-right game with them, but you read a story, and every time you say the word left, whoever currently has the gift has to pass it to their left. Whenever you say right, they have to pass it to their right. And so they're in a circle.
Oh, look where I am, look where I'm going. Too great, too quick.
The plan is to have probably 3 different circles, and each one will have 2 prizes. These are just little Burt's Bees like chapstick packs, and so I got 6 of them. And I like that they're already in little boxes, so I don't need to like wrap anything, but they are kind of like spring themed, and you know, Burt's Bees, it fits the overall theme. So those are prizes for the left-right game that we will play. I found this game online, I wanna say from Etsy, and it's like, you know, giving birth related. So I think that will be a fun time. And then only other thing that's in here is curling ribbon for when I assemble the gift bag with the honey. So I now have a hot mess on my table. I need to kind of reorganize this and actually, well, hold on, let me clean up because I can't focus on anything else. It is now Monday morning, Monday, May 19th, and today is our final house day. And I'm using air quotes for house day because all of our prior house days throughout the year, we would follow a party schedule. So we would have specials at a different time, recess at a different time, and that was to allow for basically an hour and a half of the afternoon dedicated to house day, where we would meet as an entire house, then we would meet in our small groups. Today, however, is really just the end of the year house assembly where the winner is announced. We'll come back to that. But as a result, we're not following a party schedule like I originally thought we were. We are really just going to the assembly for a half an hour at the end of the day. But 4th grade had to adjust their recess time because that was gonna be during the assembly. So our specials is normal, the rest of the day is normal. We're really just going to recess at a different time, which is good because the end of the year is crazy, especially the last week. So as much as we can keep normal the better. I said we were gonna come back to the winner because I did get a text yesterday from the staff member who was in charge of like all of our house stuff, and she said that Lade, which is my house, did win, yay! It's so exciting, and especially my first year here and being new to that house, I just feel like, I don't know, it's like the cherry on top, if you will. So as a result, during the assembly, at one point, I think they're gonna have a video playing, and the staff members who are in Lade are gonna kind of sneak behind stage. They're gonna have a bunch of red things for us to dress up on. I already called dibs on the lobster costume. And then we're gonna come out kind of dancing on the stage when they announce that our house won. So that should be fun. It's at the end of the day, and it'll be a great kind of wrap up to our final Monday. We also have some fun things going on in science. I know I've shared about this in prior vlogs, but today is finally the day we are making edible compost bins. This is an activity that comes from the Science Penguin. It's part of our B unit. I will link it for you in the description box. I have had these things for a week and a half now, so I am gonna be so happy to finally get them gone. Plus, I know my students will really enjoy this activity. I'm not gonna do a lot to prep in advance because I honestly just don't have the time. Ideally, I'd love to go ahead and portion everything out onto the plates, but realistically, I'm just gonna pass it out as we go. The one thing I do need to do in advance is dye the coconut flakes green so that they resemble grass. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that in a bowl or a plate or something, I don't know, whatever I can find, and hopefully it's as easy as I'm thinking it is in my head. All right, about 4 drops of food coloring did the trick. It's not evenly distributed, but it's good enough. This will be enough, hopefully, for the morning, and then I'll just mix some more up for the afternoon. It is significantly later. It's like 5 o'clock, but it's just been a whirlwind of a day. However, it has been a great day. The EverFi financial literacy course that we did in math was a hit. My students loved it. We're gonna continue that Tuesday and Wednesday along with our restaurant projects. For science, the edible compost bins, my students loved it, and I think it was even more enjoyable for them because they've seen the material sitting there for like a week and a half now. So they've been anticipating this activity and they finally got to do it. So here is what a completed one looks like. Basically, it's a clear plastic cup. The sticks at the bottom represent sticks. The Frosted Flake cereal represent brown leaves. The green coconut represents grass clippings. The crushed up cookies represent soil. The gummy worm represents the decomposer. Banana chips represent food scraps. There are some more Frosted Flakes on top to represent more brown leaves. And then the chocolate pudding represents the moisture because you would not want to pour water on this. It would not be tasty. But my students really enjoyed it. They loved eating it, obviously, and it worked out well because I would say about half of my students wanted their pudding on top and the other half wanted it on the side because I did give them the option. And so I would scoop out half of the pudding cup. So we used kind of like the larger size pudding cups. I would scoop out half on the students that wanted it on top, and then I would just give the remainder of the pudding to the student that wanted it on the side. But I did feel bad because my afternoon class, we were a little rushed. They were like shoving it down their throats before we headed to the end of the day assembly for announcing the house winner of the year. And as I already mentioned this morning, my house was the winner, which we were the winner the first year that they did it. And I think they've done it for 7 years. So this was our second win, but it was very exciting. However, I am hot and sweaty and gross because basically the plan was for the teachers who are in that house to kind of slowly sneak behind the stage without students noticing. And then back there, they had a bunch of red things. I was wearing a red shirt earlier, I changed, but a bunch of red things for us to put on and like, you know, pom-poms. And there was an inflatable lobster costume, which of course I volunteered to wear. And then when they announced the winner, they opened up the curtain on the stage and we were all up there like dancing, which was a lot of fun. Did, you know, the, what's that called? The, not the Carlton, the, what's this called? Cabbage Patch? No, I don't think that's Cabbage Patch. I don't know dance moves. But regardless, I did that in inflatable lobster costume, but I was back there for like 10 minutes just roasting inside before it was time to go on. Then we basically came back to the classroom, got packed up, had dismissal, and I went straight from there to set up for my team teacher's baby shower, which I had a blast. This was my first time ever really like orchestrating or organizing any kind of party or event, but I felt like it came together nicely, and I love being able to do things like that for other people. Like, you know, when they just deserve to have that special moment, it brings me a lot of joy to be able to provide that. So I had the best time and came back to my room. I had to kind of pack up, clean up, get all of the edible compost bin stuff put away. I do have one that I kind of saved all the materials for a student that missed it, because our jump rope club did a performance during the house assembly, and so they didn't get to do it. So I have theirs ready to go. But I think I'm finally ready to get out of here. It has been a long day, but a great day regardless. And I'm not sure exactly when I'm vlogging next, but I will talk about what all needs to happen in my classroom, like what can stay up, what has to come down, so on and so forth. But stay tuned, because it might be tomorrow, it might be Wednesday, I have no idea. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. I'm looking at all the green food coloring on my hands. As always, thank you for watching. I love you so much. Don't forget to put your positive pants on, and I will catch you in the next one.